Hey guys, welcome back to Envision Prototypes. I'm Nick. If you're new to our channel, standing next to the 56 Chrysler that we cut up a few weeks ago. Right now, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this area here of the windshield. As you can see, we've got the support structure in place, and I'm just trying to figure out what material to remove where. We only have one chance at this, so that we can interconnect it or reconnect it properly. It's not going to be a butt joint where we just cut this off and butt weld it around there. We'll have some areas that have butt welds, the sheet metal on the roof skin. This area in here, it has to be done in such a way that it's strong, it doesn't flex. So we need to take and open this up, peel this out, open this area up here on this top channel. Then we can go ahead back here and set that area. This is where it used to connect. This is how much excess material we have. I'm not going to cut that away until I know exactly where that's going to sit, the level it's going to sit at. And then we can worry about that. Now, if you're looking at this, you're going to say, whoa, wait a minute, Nick, this is actually coming downwards. Yes, you're right. Now, this whole windshield has been laid back 2 inches. It's lowered it, which is what we wanted. There used to be a space here for a rubber seal, a big thick space for a big thick rubber seal. I'm going to eliminate that, create a new seal system so that we have a roof with a lower profile. Because with a shorter car, higher roof, it's going to look funny. So that's where we're going. Once we're done, unless you park this next to a 56 Chrysler Windsor, it's going to be very difficult, unless you're a purist, to tell the two apart. Really difficult. The changes are going to be subtle. With this project, this car, we're kind of going for the what if Chrysler developed a vehicle by taking one of their Windsors in the mid-50s and kind of develop something to whet the appetite for the performance-oriented youth of that era. So, let's get into this and see how far we can get into blending this roof back together. This drip rail comes around the front. It's a little clip here to kind of join the two pieces together. There's a gap in between. So I'm just going to pop that clip off, open it up so that we can remove this piece of sheet metal here and blend this one into that. We may need to do a little bit of rearranging here, some massaging, gentle massaging. I want to see how close we can get the structure, the drip rail, and then we'll worry about that. There we go. There's a bunch of spot welds here that I've marked. Let's move this before it wakes me up. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with. We've got the outer drip rail. It rolls down, that's what I'm peeling off right now. We've got this roof skin that comes in. We've got this inner structural piece here, and then this material from the channel itself. So there's a lot of layers, there's 4 layers through here. So right now I'm worried about this one, getting rid of this here. We're going to take and trim this skin back at an angle and peel back some of this. And then we'll take in on the inside of the roof over there, we need to remove some of that channel so that it'll slide in over top of the upright that comes in right there. It's a very delicate operation. I'll kneel on that when I'm inside the car. At this point, we can slide this roof back, gain access to that. I guess we should have done that first. And start removing this roof skin and the understructure, a little bit at a time. Because it's a channel, it's hard to peel it out. Stuff helps me get out of sticky situations at times. So there we go. If I tried to bend a stick or a ruler over that, it'd be kind of difficult. So masking tape works quite well. Save that for later. Okay, we're getting closer. So now there's a bunch of spot welds there. So you can drill those out, peel this off. Sometimes it's really difficult to see the spot welds where they are. I see that one, it's on the edge. So the two pieces of metal come together and they just pinch the edge. I should be able to pop that off. Just like that. Okay, straighten that flange out, clean it up, and cut this part away, and then we'll bring the two together. All right, so as you can see, we prepared this front cowl section here, remove whatever we didn't need, and we're just about ready to take and slide the roof onto it so we can scribe the leading edge as well as this cut here on both sides. The back, we'll probably get that clamped in place once we have the front clamp so nothing moves around, and figure out exactly where that has to be, because we don't want this angling down or angling up or anything like that. We want a nice factory straight look as it goes back. Like a puzzle piece. How's your side?
It's coming.
Okay. Okay, I'm just about there. How's your drip rail?
I'm about 3/8 of an inch apart.
If you pull it together, how about level wise? Do they line up? Because
Almost perfect.
I'm within 1/8 of an inch, but as soon as
Likewise.
it has to be clamped.
Main roof down about an 1/8. I think I can pick them off.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of move it around once we cut away the material.
Oh, that helped a lot. Okay, just a second.
Go ahead and clamp it.
If I had another channel lock vice grip,
Well, you're close. That's it right there. That's it right there. I'll bring you guys around, show you what's happening, and then we'll clamp the skin to the front cowl and scribe that. At the back, we should actually look at that as well. All right, so up inside, where my dad's fingers are right there. So there's a gusset. It's somewhere on the floor that we removed. I don't see it right now. Oh, there it is. It's all the way on the other side. See that piece there by that 2x4? That actually goes up in place and joins everything together structurally. On the inside, you can see where the roof is in relation to the front cowl section of the roof. We have to take and scribe that, trim that away. And over here, coming in on the original, right there, seam where the original roof was joined before, the original step, all that's coming together. And the drip rail, well, we have to do a little bit of massage work to get that to fit, but that's really blending in really well. On the front edge here, the inside skin has to come up and the outside has to come down. So we'll clamp all that together and bring it in nice and snug before we scribe it. Our level with the side glass. It looks pretty close. We'll have to double check it. Put a protractor on there. And back here, you see how much we have to remove, about 4 or 5 inches there. That's all gonna go bye-bye. And we'll scribe that up and through there and join the roof up. Now, it's kind of throws the eye right now because we still have a lot of skin hanging down from the roof, but you can see that how much of that crown we've minimized. It's flowing into place quite well. The front, hey, maybe we could do like the Fords did and have the little vent across the front of the roof for, for airflow. Right here, that space, make a grill. No, we want this to be streamlined. These Chryslers had a very forward look back in the day. I think that's what they called them, the forward look Chrysler. Advanced look, forward look. So I think we're well on our way anyway with what we have here. And that windshield, you can see how well that's worked out. Now this bottom edge, we will have to work that into a piece of trim that comes across through there. The original trim won't work because the smoker vent is gone, quarter vent. Okay. Check out this side, see how it's looking. See that? So we have to come in just a little bit, kind of work those 2 drip rails together. But even without the clamp, you see, the clamp really isn't doing much. And things are aligning quite well, so
You got
that's
the
good.
thickness of the material.
That's true too. So
Yeah.
once we take and scribe this off of here, and or actually off of this one, and cut away all this excess material, this tongue, get rid of that, yeah, it's gonna sit a lot better. When it came to how much material we left up here, we left enough to reach the roof back here where we can blend the two seamlessly. Okay guys, so we've got the roof centered, all the angles set, the A-pillars, the top there, make sure the slope is correct, everything fitting up to the back rear window, and we've scribed the front leading edge as well as the back one. However, before we remove that roof, I'm going to show you what's going on up above and how much material we need to take off. So if you're looking over here, just beyond the screws, about 1/2 inch beyond the screws, is going to be the cut line. So all that material is going to be gone. Now this little opening, as well as the opening on the other side, can't quite reach over there, we're going to incorporate little marker lights with antennae sticking out. Might look cool, no? Sticking out. Or we could massage this sheet metal as well as this metal over here and blend the two together. Put down in the comments, let me know which one you think I'm kidding about. Massaging this metal, it's gonna be a little bit of work because 2 different radiuses from there to there. But that's not gonna stop us from joining up the center section at the front or at the back. So we can go right ahead with that and leave that for later. These floors still need to come apart, no big deal. Nothing's gonna move because the cowl, as well as this tail section here, the tubs and the trunk and the rear package tray, all this in here has been bolted to the frame, so that's not going anywhere. These fins, they're just for show. Just for show and no go. They'll have to come off 1 more time or 2 more times or 3 more times because there's still some work on the inside that we need to tackle. This area here, we're not going to cut that away. I need to fix the fins to the rear section so nothing moves. We don't lose our reference points, because if we start cutting too much away, things are going to get crazy. What I want to focus on is getting that roof mounted and then establish these curvatures for the rear sail panels. And once those are established and they look right, then we can go ahead and establish door's cut line. So I've got some sketches on paper here that we've been working with, blueprints if you will. But until I see it on the car from 15, 20 feet away, I'm not going to commit ourselves to cutting the door apart. I want to do that once and not have to look back or shorten it or lengthen it or any of that stuff. Now you may have been wondering, how come I didn't brace these 2 body sections or the roof any more than we did. Well, this car came in as kind of a mess. We didn't know what was correct, what wasn't correct. So we started entirely from the ground up, literally from the frame, and worked our way up, establishing all the cab mounts, all the points, common points throughout this section, as well as the back section, measuring, remeasuring, making sure everything's square. Got the roof up, made sure that's good, and now we can go ahead and run everything in permanently. Okay, so I'm gonna get that roof off the car very gingerly. We'll trim away the material, get it back up. Probably get a few good tacks up there, stand back, make sure it's right, and then keep moving ahead after we get these curvatures in. They're over here on the bench. So we need to see what we can do about softening those radiuses up, because a two-door, I mentioned before, has a more graceful line curvature through here than a four-door. Four-door is more abrupt. Okay, so we got the roof off, laying on the table here, and we're going to take and remove all this material at the back as well as the front. Everything's been scribed to the blue line. The green line was actually a mistake that we caught before we started cutting. We quadruple checked everything with respect to this car. And we came across a little issue with the drip rail. On this side, it ended at this point. On the other side, it extended 3/4 of an inch past where it is now. It was over here, which rotated that whole roof skin around. So I'm glad we caught that now instead of later on when we were trying to correct curvatures and all that fun stuff. And we'll bring you guys in to show you a little something special. If I mess this up, we're gonna have to roll a whole new roof skin. And just like that, we've got the roof back on the car. Well, it wasn't exactly that quick, but after a little bit of grunting and groaning, she's up there, resting on the center tabs, a couple screws, a clamp over there. Have to get some more screws in, but we're just checking the fit out, making sure that everything's coming together well, and it is. This has to be pushed up. I can't quite push it into place, but anyway, that corner has to come up and meet that. Need to do a little bit of magic in this area to smooth that out. We're not running with any indicators over there. I was kidding. For those people that are new to our channel, we do a little bit of kidding around here. And the back of the roof, check that out, the way it sweeps back. We don't have that huge hump there anymore. It's a little more graceful. Almost fell off the ladder. Run around to this side. Almost looks like a 58 Chevy at the back. If we put a little third brake light or a vent there, that might be interesting. We'll see. But on this side, we have the screws in place, and that's fitting up really well, really well. There as well. These tails, we left them a little bit high so we can trim them off. This substructure, jig structure that we created to help us locate everything, that can all come out now so that we can get these pieces installed, if only on a few tacks. Here we go. And the same thing over here. This has to be pushed up into place. At this point, this roof is about 75 pounds lighter with those, well, not quite, but those front and rear pieces removed. And it's shaping up to look pretty cool. It'll look totally different when we get her back down on the ground. Get some perspective. But right now, this table is really helping us out a lot. And there we have a bird's eye view of the roof. Up as high as my arm can reach. That's about it. That's looking pretty trick. I like the way the back is coming in. A lot more subtle, a lot more graceful than before. Like, don't get me wrong, these cars, they look really nice. But we figure make a few little changes while we're repairing the damage that was caused in the during the previous restoration. If you check out the first episode, we brought it here to the shop and we tried to put the doors on. We had about a 1/4 inch overlap there, and the doors wouldn't close. And that wasn't good, you know, obviously. Okay. Oh, just latched the door. Why is it off like that? Let's see if I can pop that door open. Thank you. I can get that on camera. Gotta have a ghost in here or something. You see that just popped open when I talked about it? Odd. Anyway, what we have here is the front door mounted. I'll bring you guys in to show you why we're having a few issues with these doors, especially this back one here. You can see the gap at the bottom is almost spot on. The gap along the bottom of the rocker is really good. Come to the back here, we're overlapping the quarter by at least 1/4 inch. We should have a 3/16 or at least a 1/4 inch gap in that area. So something's up. Door is slid forward as far as we can. We can't move it anymore on the hinges. So there's something happening in this length. Moving forward to where we are now. To establish this door pillar, we're going to take and rough in that curvature there. Get that established. Get it on a few screws, just so we can play with the proportions of the side. I've got a few sketches done, but I want to see it in real time. And then I'll go through, weld, or at least tack the roof in place so it's not on screws, so nothing moves around. And before this episode's through, we'll give you guys a little surprise. Okay, let's pull that structure out and get onto those rear window curves. Okay, so I'm just setting up a couple rest stops for our channel to sit on. A piece of boxed angle iron here, flat bar there, just so we can rest this and step back and take a look and see what the best point is going to be for this window. Eyeballing it, let's try there. I think the drawing said 9.5. Hope that stays like that. That's close. Okay, let's see how that looks. All right, let's study this for a second. Now we've got the back window kind of mocked up with that board. Don't have the glass in there obviously just yet. Yeah, it looks a little bit thick. Now mind you, that fin is going to extend forward and that front door is going to come back a bit. But when you're sitting in the back, you don't want this post in your way. We can do one of those ovals Lincoln had. No, this is a Chrysler. I can't do that. Portal? Nah. Now I did mention we might re-arch it, but I think we can get away without re-arching that. That's better. That's better. Minimizing that post a bit. That channel is sitting a little bit high. You can probably come down with 3/4 of an inch. How about another inch? Yeah, right there. Yes. It's looking a lot better. You still have some mass there, but it's not distracting. We will probably have chrome around the rear window and side and those areas, but it's not going to look like an original 56 style chrome. Minimize it a bit. Oh yeah, the glass. I forgot about that. How does that work?
That's going to work out quite nice.
So you look at it and you can tell right away that it's going to work. I need to study this for a second. I got a stick here. I'm going to put this up on the quarter. Right there. So what do you have for glass height above the shoulder line there?
Looks like 12 inches.
12 inches, and it has to go down inside the door. So what, 14?
So there, you have, yeah, you've got all kinds of clearance.
Oh, perfect. So there'd be a power window mechanism mounted on the inner web of that quarter panel. Drop down 14 inches. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we're going to run with that. That roof looks a whole heck of a lot better. That bump we had over that area, it's gone. Just coming back nice and gradual. We still have a little bit of work at the front to do. We're only on tacks. We're not running with those marker lights with the antennae sticking out. Okay, so give us 321.82 minutes. We'll slice off some material, but not so much as we can't tie into the existing channel. The bottom should be fine. We'll leave that where it is. And we'll get that mocked up where it's actually going to sit and not out away from the body. And then we'll have another look at it. Maybe with the skin on here. And then we can figure out where we're going to make the cuts for the door to open. All right, so there we have our joint that's going to tie into the existing roof structure. Left enough material here to overlap it, and I left enough here that we can cut back on this so we have a nice fit depending on the angle that we set this at. So let's go fit this, see how it looks. Might need to take 1 or 2 stabs at it to get it to fit right, but for now we'll go with this and see how it looks. All right, that's going to slide in just like that. We need to open that up, and I need to take away a little bit of material from the bottom because that needs to slide in there so we can plug weld it to this structure here. Kind of like that. that up. I want this to be tight. Okay, that's getting really close right there. Now we have the thickness of this bottom material that's up inside. This should be actually flush with this. That's throwing our drip rail off. So, to fix that, we need to create a little offset that'll kind of sit up inside while maintaining a continuous surface from here to here. Little things. Boom. Very good. And I think we're going to leave it at that. It's fitting quite nicely. The height of this, it should be there. I need to get the protractor on here, digital protractor, see if our angle has changed. I think it's 0.55 degrees. Will that stay? Oh, I guess that's error. 0.6 degrees, 0.65 degrees. Okay, we have enough here that, 0.55 degrees. The outside surface, we're going to butt weld that, but the inside structural pieces, we're going to overlap those. That's looking good. Sweet. See, there's nothing holding this back area. It's just flying in the wind. We need to make up a piece that'll fit into here. But I wanna play with a door jamb. I'm curious. You see, I don't want to run all this in and say, oh, you know what? We need to move it 3/4 of an inch out for it to look better. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. I'm serious. We have to make sure that all the lines work. I've got these drawings here. They're basically Photoshop manipulations I've been playing with. It's nice to sketch it out on paper, but I also want to play with the real deal. Without playing with the real deal, just to know and see where we're going. As you can see, that red area, it's a little narrower than what we have, but I wasn't too crazy about that. It's a little too narrow. So we opened it up a little bit. 0.55 degrees. There we go. What we're going to do is put a few tacks. Tack this to the angle iron that we have in here. We'll get rid of the clamp, and that'll allow us to play with some sheet metal, get this door post established, and yeah, let's do that.
I don't know why you haven't separated this yet. This door's not going to be this big. Oh, you got it, good. That's why. Without that, you'd be in midair.
Tape doesn't stick to midair. I have a question for you guys. Throw it down in the comments. Cut line for the glass. Do we angle it forward? Or do we go straight up and down?
You could tip it back.
You could tip it back, yeah.
Like Studebaker.
Yeah, Studebaker, was it the Lark?
Yeah.
And Champion pickup.
Yeah.
Same thing. Had it going back.
Yeah, same body, but the door tipped back. It always caught you in the head.
So there's what it looks like going forward. Or you go straight up and down. Got a good angle going ahead? Put it down in the comments. Let us know. We're not getting into glass just yet. Later on we'll decide which way we go. And if you guys can share any input, that'd be awesome. We've got a line on the car that we think is going to look good for a door length. Stock door for a 1956 two-door is about 48.5 inches long. So if we illustrate that here, we're sitting at right there, which is close to what we have. This is what we think we're going to run with. Now, I did a conceptual drawing, a little ideation sketch, and tried to reuse that quarter window out of the back door. And we came up with a 52.5-inch door based on the drawing, which puts us way over there. And like, just look at the length of that. It looks a bit ridiculous. So we're not going to do that. That makes a decision right there. It'd be nice to be able to reuse that little vent window, but have it pivot or whatever. But I think we're just going to run with 4 up and down simple windows, simple tracks, and run with a 46-inch door. It's going to come to this side of the green line. After that, that's the door jamb quarter panel. So next time, we're going to tackle the door post. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of locating that roof, that curved piece there, and I promised you guys one thing. We've got glass in the car. Now, while it's only temporary, it helps us visualize the changes that we've made. The roof almost looks stock. Now, unless you knew we tipped it back, which you guys know, you can't really tell anything was done. All right, look at that line from the windshield down, and it hits the center of the axle, which is what I was after. If we stand back, we'll see that a little better. A little sportier appearance. We got rid of a lot of that crown in the back of the roof. It comes down a little easier, a little more streamlined. And if you notice, we got the passenger side channel in place, just on a few tacks. The rear glass is tempered. There's no way we can cut that. Even if we wanted to, we'd have an explosion on our hands. It's looking good. Go around from the front. Oh yeah, that made a big difference. Now the work starts. Do all the welding, do all the joints, finish up this area under here. There we go. All right guys, we're gonna get this glass out of the car and back into storage before we have any unhappy accidents. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, let us know in the comments. Hit the like button. If you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot. Until next time, take care.